great to play in, but can you see?
Connor has the puck, made a great shot. One to the second, and that's the score! There it is, Oliver Connor gets the first score of the game.
Takes the game over the early. It's Burley hits the three! Leo scores!
Back another way,
Great shot! Score! Chelsea Vernon slides the back of the net from the face-off circle, and with 1:14 to go, the Raiders take a 3-2 lead.
And welcome back to an all-new Black Red Blitz. As always, I'm your host, Rebecca Cahn. Well, I don't think there could be a better event to kick off this episode than here on Friday night for the always exciting boys and girls basketball doubleheader with their rivals, Natick. But add to that, it would also be Think Beyond Pink Night, a truly outstanding cause that would also be showcased as well. From teams wearing awesome shirts to bringing even more awareness for stage 4 breast cancer, and also selling raffle tickets to raise funds for Wellesley's own Wonder Woman, Carol Shawi, who looks to run this upcoming Boston Marathon, inspiring others with her never-ending conviction, fighting head-on this incurable disease. So the action on the court would tip off first for the boys, as both Natick and Wellesley fight for first place in the Horde. Quickly, Raiders' offense is sparked by Will Jackowitz. As Jackowitz goes back-to-back from downtown, Wellesley jumps out to an 8-2 lead. Wellesley pushes it in transition, and Ryan Murray dishes inside to Max Guifrey, lays it in for 2 more. And the Redhawks already have to call a timeout on the floor, down by 8. But right out of the break, Ryan Murray does his thing, which is sinking trays like a boss. Before Natick can finally respond here, as Ben Everett Wilson nails the 3 himself. It's 13-5 Raiders. 10 points by Will Jackowitz, 6 more by Ryan Murray in this first would help Wellesley come out on fire, burying the shots early for a 22-10 lead after 1. Nice move here in the second, as Jack Wazell leads 3 defenders away with him, setting up Will Jackowitz in the paint for 2 and a shot at the charity line. And that 3-point play extends the Raider lead to 17. Tri-captain Sho Kanugawa would look to keep the Redhawks in close distance, crashing the offensive glass for 2. Then on the inbounds goes baseline, and Kanugawa lays down the end around with style for 2 more. A huge first half for Will Jackowitz continues as Raiders go right back to him on the fast break. Jackowitz's 14th point gives Raiders a 31-14 advantage. Then Ryan Murray again, corner 3, buries it for a Natick timeout. 36-21 Wellesley in command. But as we fast forward to this third, Wellesley has lost some of that dominating edge, and Redhawks, persistent to say the least, start seeing results. And this crazy putback Peter Ryan somehow makes all falling down is all the motivation Natick was looking for, now down only by 7. This huge tray from downtown by Jaden Harold is key for Natick. That 3 buries any hopes of Wellesley running away with this game from here on out. Looking to put this game away though with 5 minutes to go in this fourth, Ryan Murray pull-up jumper takes the tray, drains it. Redhawks are clutch though on the boards and down the stretch. And Sean Park's putback here makes it a 2-point game here. 55-53 Wellesley, and timeout. And so as the seconds tick away here in regulation, Redhawks tie it with a pair of free throws. So we are headed to overtime, tied at 55-55. So up 59-57, Natick's got the lead, looking for more. But seeing Peter Ryan drive to the basket, Owen De Oliveira steps in front and takes the charge for the offensive foul. What a play defensively for De Oliveira. So overtime ticks away, let's make it double overtime. Or what it should be called, Max Guifrey time. As Guifrey, fighting for the rebound, sinks in the fadeaway to give Wellesley a 62-60 edge. Well, if you thought this game had enough action back and forth in regulation, well, get ready for these last 8 seconds. 66-63 Wellesley. Sho Kanugawa shoots the 3. Ball ends up with Andrew Pereira, who lofts it up in desperation, and the 3-pointer banks in. Natick goes crazy as Pereira was fouled on the shot, so now tied at 66 even. A game where Natick was down by as much as 17 points now have a shot with Andrew Pereira at the line to win by 1. but he misses. So Colin Blasco with determination up court, bounce pass to Max Guifrey, and Guifrey gets fouled. What a game as we went from Natick draining the good as done dagger with 8 seconds to 1.9 seconds left for the Raiders to bring it home. No pressure. Max Guifrey calmly sinks in the first one for the go-ahead point. And though the second one would miss, Natick won't be seeing another thrilling shot go in, as time has run out. 4 quarters of regulation and 2 overtimes. We got a final here. It wasn't easy, that's for sure. Max Guifrey comes up big in the end for Wellesley, sinking the game-winning free throw as the Raiders outlast the Redhawks 67-66, not 1, but 2 overtimes. So that exciting overtime victory for the boys would push the girls' tip-off to a 7:30 start instead, as these Raiders would look to close out this special night with a win over their rivals as well. And with their unbeaten streak coming to an end thanks to the Carry Division juggernaut Braintree Womps, Wellesley is more than ready to regroup and leave that tough loss behind in the dust. So to the action, we check into this low-scoring first. Watch here as Leo Sperling and Nicole Beckett execute a great play. Sperling kicks it out to Beckett, who drives left, taking defenders with her. Nicole Beckett kicks it back out to Leo Sperling, and Sperling drains the baseline J. Off a Natick miss, Brooke Guifrey looks up and tosses up court to Kelsey Zarl. Zarl banks in 2 more. Wellesley's up 6-2. The offense looks to stay in a rhythm here. Dorian Cohen then kicks it out to Brooke Guifrey behind the perimeter. And Guifrey sinks the 3 as 1 quarter is played here, giving Wellesley an 11-4 advantage. Opening up this second, Molly Cronin adds to this Raiders' edge, draining this tray that gives Wellesley a double-digit lead. Now, one of the many things you gotta love about this team, hard work and effort, is always in action, even on the little things. Off what feels like the 100th steal by Leo Sperling, Kelsey Zarl is running full speed for the fast break layup. The rim has to be a jerk and spits it back out. But Zarl isn't staying behind, sulking on that tough miss, but instead stays with the play. And wait for it. Yes, that's Kelsey Zarl for the rejection. And Raiders ball. Gotta love that coast-to-coast hustle. So off this block, Natick looks to put that into points, but you have to get past Raiders' defense first. As Leo Sperling gets it to Molly Cronin, who casually waits and then dishes it to Kelsey Zarl running free down the lane. Zarl lays down 2 more off the turnover. Off the inbounds, Kelsey Zarl swings it out to Gianna Pali. He gets the layup to go despite Skylar Schmid looking for the block. And the Raiders hold a 19-8 advantage closing in on halftime. Redhawks, though, have other plans and use a quick 4-0 run to end this first half, thanks to Mia Grunberg in a steal by Brenna McDonald that ends with a coast-to-coast finish by McDonald herself just before the buzzer. Wellesley instead takes a 19-12 lead into the half. So Redhawks look to stick around here as the third quarter kicks in, and this trade by McKenna Range definitely helps. The deficit is now cut to 4. But with the score back up by 6, Brooke Guifrey changes that even more. Gets the inbounds pass out, then sneaks into the left corner. Leo Sperling swings it out to Brooke Guifrey, who drains it from downtown. The lead is now back up to 9, 26-17. Wellesley then gets back their double-digit lead here, thanks to Brooke Guifrey. As Brooke follows up that tray, coming free off a Kelsey Zarl screen, lays it in for the finish. Timeout on the floor as a 9-2 Raider run takes us to a 28-17 score, with just about 5 minutes gone by in the third. But with Redhawks cutting it to 31-23 with this Aaron Brown bucket in the opening seconds of the fourth, this is when Raiders say, okay, enough sticking around here, Natick, start to put this game away. And it's sparked by great passing right here as Brooke Guifrey swings it out to Kelsey Zarl, who finds a wide open Leo Sperling just camping out in 3-point land. Swishes it through for the clutch dagger. So it's been fun, Natick, but that Sperling tray pushes it to a Wellesley 11-point lead. And the Raiders, holding a 16-8 scoring edge after that Aaron Brown jumper opened up the fourth, is what helped Raiders pull away for good. So Wellesley, led by 12 points by sophomore Brooke Guifrey and plenty more key points coming from Kelsey Zarl and a ton of others, would make sure this game would have no overtime, pulling away late in this second half and never looking back. So that officially closes out a special night as Wellesley walks away with the doubleheader sweep as the boys take game 1 67-66 and the girls battle hard, outworking the Redhawks here 47-31. What a great night for basketball, and an even better night for the Wellesley community to come together. So the rivalry continues, but it's an even more heated one when it comes to on the ice for Wellesley and Natick. Now, last season, these two teams met up fighting for first place in the Horde, the division title on the line. The Redhawks would hand the Raiders a bitter loss that day. But here on Saturday, the only thing on the menu is revenge. And the crowd is here for this Bay State Conference showdown, so let's check in on the opening period, where Natick strikes first. Sean Harney collects the loose puck, flies through the neutral zone, sneaks the puck in between and through Jake Robinson's skates just to bury the wrister top shelf. Sean Harney, for the unassisted score, helps Redhawks jump out to a 1-0 advantage just like that. But under 2 minutes to go in this first, Raiders are on the power play. Face-off circle, Joey Simmering fires, puck deflects insanely high off James Herring. Zach Dowdy sticks the putback and keeps fighting until that puck finally finds net. Now that is determination here, and Zach Dowdy earns that equalizer score. That's for sure. So to the second we go, Michael Simmering along the blue line fires the slap shot. Rebound on the doorstep, but not for long as Bo Picking drives home the go-ahead score. And it's the Raiders who now have the momentum, and they're not about to give it back anytime soon, leading 2-1. Skip ahead to the third period where the Raiders have come to play. Michael Simmering on the breakaway. Scott Reynolds hooks around Simmering, pushing Michael into the net. And that's a penalty on Natick for sure. But even better, that's an infraction on a breakaway. So something you barely ever get to see is about to happen right now. Wellesley, penalty shot. 1-on-1, James Herring versus Michael Simmering. I got my money on Simmering. Well, if I had money. So here we go. Simmering down the ice, left and right with the stick handling, mesmerizing Herring, then snipes the wrister glove side, finding nothing but sweet net. Michael Simmering makes it look easy, 3-1 Raiders. But Wellesley isn't done just yet. Let's fast forward to a minute later. Patrick Morton blocks Matt Sullivan's clear out, and on one knee, Morton goes 5-hole unassisted. What a score, and what a response by this team as Natick scored first back in the opening frame just to see the Raiders bury 4 goals unanswered. Patrick Morton's pumped, the whole team's pumped, the fans are loving it, and this time the Redhawks are not going to come into Babson and take that W. The Raiders brought it tonight, and the Raider crazies came to see this divisional battle end the right way, with the Raiders commanding a statement win by the final 4-1. So coming off a thrilling double overtime win over their rivals Natick on Friday, here on Tuesday, boys basketball would look to keep rolling, but standing in their way would be a tough Bay State Conference opponent in the Newton North Tigers. Now, while the first quarter last week versus Natick was lights out for the Raiders offense, it would be a different story this time around versus the Tigers. So the first few minutes, it's all good. Aggressive to the basket, Will Jackowitz off the pick and roll lays it in for the first 2 points of the game. But turnovers and cold shooting start to plague Wellesley, and that helps Tigers build a 14-4 lead after 1 played. So the Raiders definitely need points in this second quarter and go inside the paint here, as Max Guifrey fires inside to Cahn Blasco, who banks it in, cutting the deficit to 17-12. But Newton North takes the inbounds, quickly move down the court, and Christian Hum makes a move inside, kicks it back out to Aaron Cooley. Cooley drives in the paint and sinks in the floater. Timeout called on the floor, 19-12, Tigers edge. Cahn Blasco again though, no hesitation, going to the basket. But just as soon as the deficit sees single digits, Theo Shore sinks in another shot from downtown. So we fast forward to the fourth quarter with about a minute already gone by, Newton North still in command here, leading 40-22. But once again, Cahn Blasco does his thing. Blasco on this catch and shoot, drains the 3 from the corner, so that still leaves Wellesley looking up at a big Newton North lead, but the Raiders are still battling here. Max Guifrey swings it out to Cahn Blasco. Blasco dishes it right back inside to Max Guifrey on the run. Guifrey sinks in the layup, and now 40-27 is Newton North's lead here. On the perimeter, Cahn Blasco comes away with the theft off Matt Mikowski and goes coast to coast for the fast break layup and 1. And this fourth really shows how this team keeps grinding despite the score. So even with Theo Shore nailing another tray that goes down as another Raider momentum killer, down by 17, you'd think this is when Wellesley throws in the towel. The Tigers may have Theo Shore, but Wellesley has Ryan Murray, as Murray once again nails the money shot. So continuing to manage the clock with quick fouls, sending Tigers to the charity line again and again, making them work for their points. That actually works, as they miss more than they make, and take little time doing it. So with time still on the clock, Colin Blasco, having a huge game here, gets 2 more to force another timeout. 53-41 Newton North. Tigers free throws, then Ryan Murray drains the tray. You guessed it, timeout again, 55-44 in what could be the longest last minute of high school basketball. Missed Tiger points at the charity line again, 25 seconds ticking away fast. Colin Blasco from NBA land drains it, 55-47 Tigers. So close. It would be a fantastic effort despite Tigers pushing leads as high as 17, but the comeback unfortunately would fall short. Wellesley scored 17 points in the last 4 minutes of this game, making it anything but easy for Newton North, as the final would be Newton North 57, Wellesley 47. Wednesday night would be hockey night as we head back to Babson, where the boys would be standing strong, holding the number 2 spot in the tough Horde division. After taking care of Natick in a big way the game before, here tonight the Raiders will be facing off against a struggling Newton North squad. Opening period, Raiders get right to work. Barely 3 minutes have ticked away, and Michael Simmering's shot on net gets stuffed, but the puck is loose. Ryan Keeter behind net recovers it, centers it to Joey Simmering, who brings the one-timer home. And quickly, not only do the Raiders jump out to a 1-goal lead here, but for the Tigers, if goalie Michael Gresser and the rest of his teammates didn't know anything about the Simmering twins, well, after this game, they do now. So as we go through this second, the score may still be 1-0, but even though Wellesley hasn't added to the lead yet, the Tigers haven't been able to erase that 0 on the scoreboard either. And that is what happens when you got Andrew Hubbard dominating between the pipes, especially when his teammates needed Hubbard's defense the most in this last minute of the second, where Newton North relentlessly are trying to bury that equalizer before heading into the locker room. But Andrew Hubbard would have his say on that, and 1-0 advantage still stands. So the third period begins here, and it might as well be called Simmering time, as Joey adds to his stats in a big way. Nathan Brown and Joey Simmering from the slot goes 5-hole on the power play score, and just over 2 minutes have ticked away in this final frame. Deeper we go, the deeper Newton North puts themselves in a hole they're just not going to get out of. Raiders again on the power play. Wellesley just keeps picking apart the Tigers' defense. Zach Doughty finds Joey Simmering again from that sweet spot in the slot. Joey Simmering buries the Hattie. 3-0 Wellesley, or should I just say Joey Simmering 3, Tigers nothing. So 2 goals already coming on the power play in this third period alone. Why not add another if you're the Raiders? With Joey Simmering taking care of the first 3 goals, this time it's Michael Simmering who nets the final dagger here. Zach Doughty with the slap shot gets a Michael Simmering stick deflection, and that puts Raiders up by 4 in command here, with 3 of those scores coming on the power play, all in the final frame. So all 4 goals will be scored by the Simmering brothers in this one, as Joey gets the hat trick and Michael puts the finishing touches to an all-around solid team win. The Raiders shut out the Tigers here by the final 4-0. Well, that's all the highlights for this episode, but there is plenty more to come. As we head into February, that means we're even that much closer to the postseason. So make sure you don't miss out on any of the exciting Raiders action to come. For highlights, of course, stay right here for Black Red Blitz. For full games to watch, check us out on demand at wellesleymedia.org, our YouTube and Facebook pages at Wellesley Public Media, and of course right here on Comcast 9 and Verizon 39. Thanks for watching Black Red Blitz. Go Raiders!